Every sunset brings the promise of a new dawn. Get your thoughts calmed down, get all blossom. Good evening, everyone. With great joy and immense exultation, I extend my warm welcome to all dignitaries, guests, and delegates present here for the webinar series organized by Diksha e-Learning in association with Ayurveda College, Coimbatore. In today's session, we will be discussing about practical aspect of female infertility. To invoke the Almighty, let's begin with a prayer song. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Before starting the session, I'd like to go through few of the basic etiquettes to be followed throughout the session. For uninterrupted class session, use laptop with a high-speed internet connection. Please make sure your microphone is on mute to have a disturbances-free session. In case of any disruption, please check your internet connection firstly, and the problem is within our network connection. Kindly raise the issue in the chat box. Filling your full name to be displayed is appreciated. Any question can be posted in the chat box, and questions raised will be cleared at the end of the session. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Drishya PR, Assistant Professor, Department of Siddhanta and Samhita, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to deliver the welcome address. Please, ma'am.
Very good evening, everyone. Today we are here for the session on the topic Practical Aspects of Female Infertility. A warm word of welcome to everyone on behalf of Ayurveda College Coimbatore and Diksha. As we all know, Ayurveda College Coimbatore is conducting webinar series with the intent of active and interactive learning. It's a delight to have Dr. Nilofer M. Sheikh as our guest speaker today. First and foremost, I would like to heartily welcome Nilofer ma'am for a wonderful session. I feel honored to welcome all Vaidyas, PG scholars, students and all delegates to this session. I am sure that you will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this session. I welcome you all once again to this webinar and hope that we all will have a great time ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Nilofer Shaikh, ma'am. Ma'am completed her UG from JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya and PG from IPGT and RA Jamnagar, Gujarat. Ma'am is expertise in the field of infertility management, antenatal care and cancer management. She is having an experience of around 5 years in both clinical and teaching field. She has also presented so many papers in national and international seminars and also published so many PEER reviewed research articles. Ma'am is now currently working as the Assistant Professor, Department of Prasudi Tantra and Sri Roga, JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Nadyar, Gujarat. We are very proud to have you here on this session today, ma'am. So now, without any further ado, we will turn the time over to respected Dr. Nilofer Sheikh, ma'am, to enlighten our minds with her knowledge. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So the topic of today's webinar, that is the practical aspect of female infertility. So I am going to discuss about the practical aspects, no any theoretical aspects or any opinion of various acharyas or any theoretical principles. And the second thing, this is the about the female infertility. So I'm going to highlight the all the female factors, causative factors of the infertility. So this presentation contains the brief introduction about the infertility, clinical approach of female infertility, and the Ayurvedic management of various factors and factors of the female infertility. So first, coming to the introduction. So definition, infertility is defined as a failure to conceive within 1 or more years of regular unprotected coitus. So here you have to think about that regular unprotected coitus is must. Sometimes patients are approaching to you within a 6 month or 8 month, and they are complaining about the failure to conception. Then you have to counsel the patient that you have to wait till 1 year and you have to do regular unprotected coitus. Now there are two types of the infertility. First one is primary and second is secondary infertility. So primary infertility denotes those patients who have never conceived, while in second infertility indicates the previous pregnancy but the failure to conceive subsequently. According to Ayurveda, so as you all are very aware about the essential factors who are responsible for the formation of the Garbha. So according to Shushrut, Dhruvam Chaturnaam Sanidyat Garbhasyad Vidhi Purvakam Rutu Kshetra Ambubijanam Samagrayad Ankuro Yatha. It means Rutu, Kshetra, Ambu and Bij. These are the four essential factors for the conception. So any kind of the abnormality or any imbalance in these four factors lead the infertility. And according to Charak, there are 6 bhava which are responsible for the formation of the garbha or for the conception, and that is the matruj, pitruj, atmaj, satyaj, rasaj and satvaj. So when we are dealing with the infertility patient, we have to keep in mind that all these bhav, 6 bhav are very essential for the conception. So here you can consider AMBU. Like AMBU means hormones or nutritional status of the patient. According to Dalhan, Ahari Nimitta Rasa iti AMBU. So if the patient is a poor nutrition status, she has a poor nutrition status, then again it affects on the conception. Or it may be any kind of the hormonal imbalance, then again it affects on the conception. Second, Rutu. For the Rutu, we can consider the reproductive age or the luteal phase. You can consider the ideal reproductive age, that is about from 20 to 35 years, and the luteal phase, it means the phase after the ovulation. Bij. Here we are going to discuss about the female factors of the infertility. So I am considering the Stri Bija Dushti or Stri Bija, that is essential for the conception. And the Kshetra. For the Kshetra, the whole female genital tract, we can consider it as a Kshetra. So if any kind of the anomaly or pathology that occurred in the female genital tract that hampered the conception. Now, according to modern, these are the factors, female factors, which are responsible for the infertility. So here you can see that is a cervical factor, ovarian factor, tubal factor, pelvic factor, and uterine factor. I will take all the factors in detail later on. So basically, when patient are approaching to you with the complaint of infertility, how you can deal? So first, I am categorized the patients in 3 ways. First one, the patient who has a big, who approached the clinic with a big file after attempting all the allopathic treatment, even sometimes IVF failure. This is the one category. The patient approaching to us. The second category, when the patient approach to conventional medicine system, but they are not they are not taking the medicine in a long duration. And in a third category, when the patient first time approach to Ayurveda, it means they are directly come to us to take the solution of this infertility. So in first 2 categories, they are already diagnosed, and patients, even patients are told us that, ma'am, I have a hyperprolactinemia, or I have a problem of PCOS, or I have a problem of uterine fibroid, or low AMH, means it is a diagnosed case. So in that type of the cases, you should not do very much workout. But in the patient who first time approach to you, then you have to take a detailed history examination, and you have to advise some investigation to find out the cause. Remember, first you have to find out the cause of the female infertility, and then you have to treat that. Never go blindly. Okay, so to diagnose or to find out the cause of the female infertility, you have to do detailed history taking and the examination followed by the investigations. So in history taking, the major point that you have to consider, first one is age. If a patient is approaching to you after the age of 35 years, so as you know that as a woman age is increases, the incidence of infertility also increases. And according to Ayurveda, the advancing age is the condition of a vata dosha dominant condition. It is a condition of vata dosha dominant. So in this you have to give repeatedly basti treatment. So everything has some significance. You have to ask about the age of the patient. If it is greater than 35 or it is patient is in advancing age, then you have to give repeated basti, either matra basti or niru basti. Then second thing, you have to inquire about the occupation and the socio-economical condition. Like nowadays, women are in a work pressure. They are working women. So you have to find out the level of stress, because stress affects on the secretion of the GnRH. And here you can see that any kind of the stress which affects on the HP axis activation, and it creates the hormonal imbalance, and ultimately it leads the infertility. And you can correlate here with the Ayurvedic quote, that is the Saumanasya Garbhadharanam Sreshtham. So in Ayurveda, the only word that is the Saumanasya. Saumanasya is necessary for the conception. So in this kind of the patient, when you think or when you find that patient has a tremendous work stress, that you have to counsel the patient. Even you can advise the patient some Deva Vyapashray Chikitsa. In our department at JS Ayurveda, we advise or we instruct the patient Garbhadana Sanskar, various Sanskar. So it helps the patient to relieve the stress, and ultimate hormonal imbalance can cure. Then the major thing, that is a menstrual history. So here you can see that the normal interval duration and menstrual flow. The normal interval is 28 to 30 days, duration is 3 to 5 days, and the normal menstrual flow is 3 to 4 pads per day. If any kind of the anomalies in this normal pattern, like if patient has a delay menstruation greater than 35 days, the duration is less than 2 days, and the flow is scanty, like less than 1 pad per day. So it suggests the pathology of PCOS or premature ovarian failure, hyperprolactinemia, or even hypothyroidism. And in Ayurveda, you can consider it as a Vata and Kapha Dushti, because doshic involvement is a you have to know about the dosic involvement for your treatment protocol. Then second condition, when patient have the complaint of early menses, like less than 20 days, greater than 7 days duration, and the flow is excessive, like greater than 4 pads per day. So it may be the due to LPD, that is luteal phase defect, dysfunctional uterine bleeding. And in Ayurveda, you have to think about the Pitta and Rakta Dushti. So with this menstrual history, you can decide the treatment protocol. Like if a patient has a dushti of a pitta and a rakta, then I should apply the Virechan karma followed by basti. And if she has an involvement of a kapha, then you can advise the Vaman karma followed by basti. But here basti is mandatory or compulsory. Then examination. So in examination, you have to perform after taking the detailed history. Like you have to take the obstetric history, contraceptive history, coital history, and the medicinal history. After taking the detailed history, you have to perform the examination, like per speculum and per vaginal examination. This examination is important to diagnose the cervical factor. That is the first factor which affects the female fertility. So in cervical factors, with the help of per speculum examination, you can find any kind of the discharge, cervicitis or cervical erosion. If this pathology is in the cervix, then again it hampers the upward movements of the sperm, and due to that patient unable to conceive. After the examination, if patient is approaching to you first time, then you have to advise her some investigation. But for before advise the investigation, you have to rule out the male factor first. Okay, first you have to advise the semen analysis. If if her husband's semen analysis report is normal, like there is no issue in semen analysis, or there is no any male factor, then you have to advise some investigation to the female. So first, in imaging studies, you have to advise USG on day 3rd of the menses and the ovulation study from 10th day of the menses to find out the ovarian and uterine factor. So if you want to find out the uterine and ovarian factor, these two investigations are must. First one is transvaginal sonography on 3rd day of menses, and second one is ovulation study from 10th day of the menses. So in this, with the help of this investigation, you can find out any PCOS, ovarian cyst, premature ovarian failure, even size of the uterus, endometrium thickness, fibroid or polyp. After this primary investigation, you can advise the HSG. HSG means hysterosalpingiography, to diagnose the tubal factor or any anomaly of the uterus. But HSG is HSG is a investigation that you have to advise later on. First, you have to rule out the ovarian factor and uterine factor. If you are not finding any anomaly or any problem in these two factors, then you have to advise HSG. Never directly jump on the HSG first. With this imaging study, you should advise some blood tests like day 3. Day 3 means on the 3rd day of the menses, you should advise serum FSH, serum LH and serum prolactin. So if the serum FSH is too much high, like it is greater than 40, then it suggests the premature ovarian failure, or it is indicate the early menopause. Second, if the FSH and LH ratio is altered, that indicate the PCOS. If serum prolactin is too much high, it is suggest the hyperprolactinemia, which is responsible for irregular menstruation or even sometimes amenorrhea. Then serum AMH, that is also on 3rd day, to diagnose the premature ovarian failure. So with the help of this history taking and investigation, you can find some cause, and according to cause, you have to treat that patient. Now, Ayurvedic management of various factors of female infertility. So in first two part, that first is general introduction of the infertility, and second thing, how to approach the patient while they are coming to you or they are approaching to you. Now, if you find out some cause, like you establish the diagnosis that she has a problem of the ovulation, or she has a problem of uterine implantation, like she has a fibroid, polyp, or she has a hyperprolactinemia. So according to cause, you have to treat that patient. So first is cervical factor. So with the help of per speculum and per vaginal examination, you can easily find this cervical factor. If she has a thick or dry sticky mucus, then it hampers the upward movements of the sperm. If the vaginal pH is acidic, like in some infectious condition, the pH of the vagina turns the acidic or alkaline. So normal vaginal pH must be at 4.5. So first you have to find that cause, and according to the cause you have to treat. So if patient has a wide discharge PV, like when you performing the per speculum examination and you see that there is a lots of wide discharge or it is an infectious condition, so it affect on the normal vaginal pH and sperm motility. So in this condition, the oral medicine that you can prescribe, that is Pushyanug Churna, Shatavari Churna. Pushyanug Churna has a Stambhan property, while Shatavari Churna specific you can use in a thick mucus, cervical mucus. If there is no any infectious condition, but the cervical mucus is thick, then you can give Shatavari Churna. Then Amalki Churna, Lodra Churna, Nag Kesar, Chandra Prabhavati, Datri Lo, Gandak Rasayan and Chop Chini. This Gandak Rasayan and Chop Chini I prescribing specifically in the itching of vulva or white discharge associated with itching. Like if patient complain that she has a white discharge with itching vulva or in the itching in the vagina, then you can add Gandak Rasayan and Chop Chini Churna. Along with the oral medicines, you have to apply some local therapy like Yoni Prakshalan and Yoni Pichu. So you for the Yoni Prakshalan, Panchvalkal Kvath, Nimbak Kvath, Udumbar Kvath can be used. And for the Yoni Pichu, Chatyadi Tel, Falagrit or Shatavari Krit can be used. If there is infectious condition, then you can give Chatyadi Tel for Yoni Pichu. And if you found that that it is a hypoestrogenic condition, it means you feel that there is no lubrication or dryness in the vagina, then you can advise Falagrit or Shatavari as a local application. And I found good result with this Nimbquat in a curdy discharge, that is in fungal infection. For if you find that it is a condition of fungal infection, then you can perform the Yoni Prakshalan with the Nimbquat. And if there is an involvement of a Pitta dosha, means there is a burning sensation and a redness in the vagina, then you can perform the Yoni Prakshalan with this Udumbar Path. Second thing that commonly thing that we find during the per speculum examination, that is a cervical erosion or cervicitis. So again, cervical erosion hampered the upper direction movement of the sperm. So you have to treat that erosion first. For the cervical erosion, local therapy is must. There are two options. One is Agni Karma and second one is Kshar Karma. So Agni Karma, you can perform the Agni Karma in a single sitting with the help of Swarna Shalaka or Vrana Ropan Shalaka. And the other option, that is Kshar Karma, this is the milder form and it required more settings. Like you have to perform Kshar Karma 2 to 3 times. And with the help of Yavakshara or Kasi Sadikshara or Sudha Tankan. And after the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, Jatyadi Tel Pichu, application of Jatyadi Tel Pichu is must for 7 days. After the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, you can prescribe some oral medicines like a mixture of that is Rasayana Churna and Haridra Churna. In Gujarat, we are using the Rasayana Churna, that is the combination of Guduchi, Amalki and Gokshur. So it helps the rejuvenate or it helps the reepithelialization process. In a cervical erosion, what happened? The columnar epithelium of the endoderm takes place the squamous epithelium. So to normalize the cervical mucosa, Rasayana Churna is must after the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma. Because with the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, you are going to destroy the abnormal cell on the cervix. And that after this Agni and Kshara, to normalize or to re-epithelialization of the squamous cells, Rasayana Churna and Haridra Churna is must. And to decrease of, if patient has a complaint of discharge, then you can add Pushyanu Churna and Chandraprabha Vati. So here you can see this is the process of Agni Karma with the help of Rana Ropan Shalaka. Here we prepare one Shalaka. It is like a roll-like structure with the help of Vasha, Kushtha, Nimba, Haridra and Guglu. So with this Shalaka you can burn that eroded area, and after the Agni Karma you have to apply the Jhatyadi Tel. And you should advise the patient to put the Jatyadi Tel Pichu for 7 days. This is the process of Kshar Karma. Like Agni Karma, you can directly apply this Kshar, either Kasi Sadi Kshar, so the Tankan, or Yav Kshar on the eroded area. But you have to take care that after the Kshar Karma, Prakshalan with Trifla Vath is must to maintain the vaginal pH. So this all about the cervical factor. Second factor is ovarian factors. So in ovarian factors, the most common condition that you clinically find out, that is the PCOD. Even diagnosed case of PCOD can approach to you. So basically PCOS is a lifestyle disorder. And in the PCOS, there are some specific signs and symptoms of the PCOS, like patient have a complaint of weight gain, amenorrhea, hirsutism, acne. These are the complaint of PCOS. And in the sonography finding, you can see that small cyst in the ovary. So coming to treatment of PCOS. To treat the PCOS, three things that is to be followed by the patient. First one is lifestyle modification, and second thing, you have to advise some Sodhan Chikitsa, and third one is Shaman Chikitsa. Means without lifestyle modification, you can't treat the PCOS condition. You have to advise the patient to take a lukewarm water and moong soup daily, to avoid the junk food and fast food, to avoid the stress, to avoid Divaswap and the Ratri Jagra. So lifestyle modification is must along with the treatment. In the Sodhan Chikitsa, if a patient is obese, she is obese, then you can give a woman followed by the basti. Even patient is, you can advise the mercenasya of Shatpushpa Tela for 3 cycles after completion of menses. Arkapatra Svedan on the pelvic region, and the Matra Basti of Satpushpa Tel or Narayan Tel for 3 cycles. So these are the Sodhan Chikitsa for the PCOS. And in Saman Chikitsa, as a Stri Prasuti expert, consider it as a Granthi. So you have to treat it with the Kashnar Guglu, Varunadi Kwath. If a patient have a complaint of amenorrhea, so you can give Dashmul Kwath, Hingvastak Churna, Rajah Pravartani Vati, and Arogya Vardhini Vati and Gomutra Haritaki for the weight loss. Like most of the PCOS patients are obese. So to reduce the weight, you can advise Arogya Vardhini and Gomutra. Here two more drugs, that is Mamenjak Ganvati and Jambu Bij Ganvati. So in PCOS, insulin resistance is there. So to reduce that insulin resistance, you should give this Mamenjak Ganvati and Jambu Bij Ganvati. And one thing, that is a Til in a Shaman Matra. I found very good result with this Til. So as you know that Til Yogya or Til Snepani Yogya, in that you find one thing, that is a Garbha Koshta Suddhi. So for that purpose, you can prescribe this Tel in a Shaman Matra, like 10 ml twice a day. This whole regimen for the 3 months. And after 3 months, you again do the investigation, and you will definitely find some relief in the subjective symptoms. The second common factor, ovarian factor, that clinically I found, that is anovulation or delay ovulation. So with the help of ovulation study, you can find that she has a problem of anovulation or delay ovulation. So I suggested the medicaments during follicular phase, that is first 14 days. First, I advise patient to follow Rajaswala Charya during the menses. Second thing, for the process of folliculogenesis, I advise Satpushpa Churna along with Trikatu Churna 2 times a day with honey. Rajraha Pravartani Vati 2 tablets 3 times a day with water. One medicine, that is a Pushpa Dhanvaras. Now, it also has a good effect on the development of the follicle. That is 2 tablets 3 times a day with water. You can give Chitrakadi Vati or Lasunadi Vati for the ovulation purpose. When in the ovulation study, you find that is the follicle is enlarged up to 20 to 22 mm. Now we want to rupture it. Then you can give Chitrakadi Vati or Lasunadi Vati for 3 days. So it works like an injection SCG. Okay. And Shat Pushpa Tel Marshnasya for 7 days. Again, it is indicated in cases of anovulation or delay ovulation. Now, ovarian cyst or chocolate cyst. So in this condition, first you have to do Vireshan Karma. You have to advise Vireshan Karma followed by Yoga Basti or Lekhan Basti. According to condition of the patient, if patient is obese, you feel that there is more necessary of Lekhan Karma, then you can give Gomutra, simple Gomutra Basti after the Vireshan Karma. Otherwise, you advise Yoga Basti. Yoga Basti means 8 Basti, like starting from the Anuvasan, Nero, total 8 Basti. Then after Vireshan Basti, in oral medicaments, patient should prescribe Punarnava Kwath, Varunadi Kwath and Chandra Prabhavati for 3 months. Now, low anti-Mullerian hormone and low antral follicle. Now, these kind of the patients are also approaching to us, because in allopathy, they have no any treatment of low AMH. They directly suggested to go for the IVF. So in this kind of the patient, first do Panchkarma, the whole Panchkarma, starting from the Vamana, Vireshan, Basti and Nasya. Then after the Panchkarma, start the Shatavari Grit orally along with Prajasthapan Yoga. Prajasthapan Yoga is an Anubhuti Yoga here. That is, it is a combination of Satavari, Atibala, Amalki, Nagakeshar, Vatankur, and the Bhavna Dravya was Durvaswaras. So this should continue for 3 to 4 months after Panchkarma, and patient can easily conceive. I found so many cases of low AMH treated with this regimen. After the ovarian factor, now uterine factors. So various uterine factors and its treatment. So common uterine factor, that is fibroid and adenomyosis. So first you have to find that height and size of the fibroid. If it is greater than 6 centimeter, then you have to advise myomectomy first. If it is less than 6 centimeter, then you can give the medicine like Kashnar Guglu, Varunadi Kwath, Gomutra Haritaki and Lekhan Basti. Same regimen should follow in cases of adenomyosis. Here you have to give some Lekhan Aushadhi, Lekhan drugs. If there is a polyp in the uterus and it hampers the implantation, then you advise the polypectomy. Like there is no medicaments, even I don't know any, I don't have any experience of this oral medicine for this polyp. Then second cause, thin endometrium. So in case of thin endometrium, like if you are doing the ovulation study and in the ovulation study you find that endometrium thickness, that is ET, it is not proper. Endometrium thickness must, it should be 7 to 8 mm for the implantation after the fertilization. So in case of thin endometrium, फलघृत, प्रजास्थापन योग, शतावरी चूर्ण or shatavari grit. Orally you can prescribe. Even you can give the shatavari grit uttar basti to increase the thickness of the endometrium. Then in case of uterine synechia, again I found very poor prognosis in uterine synechia. Uterine synechia, in the uterine synechia there is the adhesions. So to clear that adhesion, you can advise Uttarvasti with Til Tel or Narayana Tela, Vireshan Karma and Arkpatra Swedan. Now tubal factors. So as you all very much aware about the use of Uttarvasti in tubal blockage, right? So Uttarvasti of Til Tela or Yavakshara Tel or Kumari Tel are very beneficial in cases of tubal blockage. But for the Uttar Basti, OT setup is must because it is an invasive procedure that is to be carried out in the OT setup. Otherwise, there are more chances of complications. So you have to take more precautions while performing the Uttar Basti. So Uttar Basti, Arkapatra Swedan, even Chandra Prabhavati, you can give orally. In cases of hydrosalpinx, Punarnava Kwath, Chandra Prabhavati, Pushyanup Churna plus Gandhak Rasayan. So here, I like to highlight the process of Uttar Basti. Before the Pradhan Karma of this Uttar Basti, in a Purva Karma, local Abhyang of Bala Tel or any tel over the pelvic cavity for 10 minutes, followed by the Nadi Svedan for 10 minutes, and after that, you offer the Yoni Prakshalan with a Panchvalkal Kwath. These are the instruments that is which are used in the process of Uttar Basti. And this is the process of the Uttar Basti. First, the patient should put on the lithotomy position. Then you have to expose the cervix with the help of speculum. Then catch the cervix. After that, this is the Uttar Basti cannula. So you should take the 5 ml amount of any tail like Til Tel, Kumari Tel or Apamakshar Tel in this syringe that is attached to the Uttar Basti cannula. Then you have to insert that cannula into the uterine cavity. Okay, there are two types of the Uttar Basti. One is, even rather three types. One is intrauterine, second one is intracervical, and third one is intravaginal. For the tubal blockage, in cases of tubal blockage, intrauterine Uttar Basti should perform. So in intrauterine Uttar Basti, this cannula must pass the internal os. You have to pass the internal os, and then you push the oil into the uterine cavity. Means there is specific pressure is required for this procedure. After this procedure, you should observe the pratyavartan of this drug. And the paschat karma of this Uttar Basti, that is head low position for 20 minutes. If a patient have the complaint of abdominal cramps, then you have to advise hot fermentation on the lower abdomen. So here it is a case of tubal blockage that is cured after the process of Uttar Basti. That one study that I published in this research journal, that is the effect of Apamakshar Tel Uttar Basti on the tubal blockage. So in this study, total 18 patients were registered. Out of that, 16 patients completed the treatment, and total 12 patients of the tubal blockage cured. Means their tubes were opened. So we found 75% result with the help of Apamakshar Tel. And the dose of Uttar Basti was 5 ml, and this is to be performed after sedations of menses for 6 days. Now, after the tubal factor, there is the pelvic factors. The most common pelvic factor or the most common cause is PID, that is pelvic inflammatory disease. So in PID, in cases of PID, I advise Punarnava Kwath, Chandraprabhavati, because Punarnava Kwath has a Sothagna property, Panchatikta Grita, Vireshan Karma, and Arkapatra Svedan. So I considered involvement of a Pitta dosha in cases of PID. So to treat that Pitta dosha, Vireshan Karma followed by the these oral medicines or oral medicaments you can apply or you can suggest. So these are all about the factors, female factors. But you have to think about some systemic disease like thyroid. First, thyroid dysfunction, there is hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. In cases of hypothyroidism, menstrual abnormality is there. So you have to treat that cause first. Even you should advise the patient to take the thyroid medicine like allopathic medicine, Thyronum 25, whatsoever. You have to suggest the patient to take this thyroid medicine. And in cases of hyperprolactinemia, Vamanikarma, Trifla Churna, Nasya with Shat Pushpa Tel. So in hyperprolactinemia, I found good result with Vamanikarma because it is my hypothesis that the involvement of kapha dosha is there. So to reduce this kapha, Vaman is the best. And I found good result with this Vamanikarma. Now, unexplained infertility. It means you take the proper history, you perform the examination, you advise the investigation, but there is no any cause. You can't find any cause for the infertility. Then it's come under the unexplained infertility. So in these kind of the patients, the panch karma is must first. You have to counsel the patient like couple both should do the shodhana karma. After the Shodhan Karma, 1 month Brahmacharya and Pathyapalan is advised. After that month, in follicular phase, that is same regimen that I advise in anovulation. Like for 14 days, I advise Shatapushpa Churna and Trikatu Churna, Raja Pravartani, even in some patient Kanya Lohadivati, and Marsanasya of Satapushpa Tela for the folliculogenesis. And after the ovulation in a luteal phase, you should prescribe Shatavari Churna, Belar Churna, and Praval Pisti for the Garbhasthapan or for the fertilization, Prajasthapan Ghanvati, Falagrita, and in this type of the cases, unexplained infertility, the most important thing that is Daiva Vyapashray Chikitsa and Garbhadan Sanskar. So with these, patient can uh, a patient get the conception and you can treat the infertility. So thank you. If you have any question, then you can ask. It's my pleasure to discuss.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for taking your time to prepare for us such an extraordinary, a wonderful presentation, which is incredibly informative, ma'am. We shall now go ahead to the question and answer session. Shall we begin, ma'am?
Yes.
Delegates can post your questions in the chat box. The first question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the Samprapti Ghataka and the Samprapti Vigadanam of PCOS and other diseases, ma'am.
Samprapti Ghatak and Samprapti Vigatak cases of PCOS. So in PCOS, you can consider the involvement of a Vata and a Kapha. Basically, Vata Kaphaj Artha Pushti is there. So you have to consider the involvement of a Vata and a Kapha dosha, and the sthan of these PCOS is Bijashay, that is ovary. So there is a drushti of Mas and Med. So you have to think about the Mas drushti and Med drushti and Vata and Kapha dosha. So according to that, you should prescribe the Kashnar and Varunadikvat for this Granthi or for this Med and Mas drushti. And second thing is that in cases of PCOS, some expert can consider it as a prameh, madhumeh, because in madhumeha, in a shastra there is one reference that in females madhumeha didn't happen because of this menstruation. So in PCOS, one complaint is that amenorrhea, means absence of the menses.
Yeah,
And
thank you very much.
and for that we have to consider the madhumeha, and treatment is you can apply the treatment of Mamencha Ganvati, Jambu Bij Ganvati, or any other the treatment of madhumeha.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Now we have a delegate here who has raised his hand. Dr. Prem Burnett, you can now unmute yourself.
There are some questions in chat.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Ma'am, myself, Dr. Kritika Bhanot. I'm using another's like ID. So my question is that somewhere we find it difficult in the OPDs as a Shodhan Chikitsa. Somewhere I had seen in the PCOD there is low body weight and Dhatu Shay anemic patients where we could hardly go for any other Vaman Chikitsa, somewhere Sukumar Avastha. Then at that point if we are just hooked to the Shamak Chikitsa, I had not been getting very good results in the PCOD at the OPD levels, because I know Panchkarma has an edge over that if we see on the broad spectrum. But
Yes.
somewhere we are stuck in the OPDs, we have limitations also. Can you please help me around if we get some patients having PCOD with low body weight and anemic conditions?
Yes. In the patient who has a low body weight or in a Dhatukshaya Avastha, in a OPD level, you can perform the Nastya Karma, because I found good result with the Nastya Karma. Nastya of Shat Pushpa Tel. You have to give 6 days Nastya Karma along with Arkapatra Svedan, local Arkapatra Svedan on the pelvic region. It increases the blood supply towards the ovary and helps to normalize the local process of the follicular genesis. Second, you can give the basti, like simple matra basti of Shatpushpa Tel for 10 days at OPD level. So these are two things you can add in OPD basis, or you should try this Kashnar Guglu, Varunadi Guglu, and in this specific in Dhatukshaya Avastha, you can give a Tela Tela in a Shaman Matra. So with these medicaments, you can treat this patient.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we have another delegate who has raised her hand. Dr. Shatkuntala Pujari, you can now unmute yourself.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, if the lady is having intramural fibroid, along with that, if she has conceived, what we can advise the medicine, internal medicine, that it should not harm fetus, means development of the fetus also. And the anything other problems should not occur to that lady, like that. What medicine internally we can advise?
Yes, that's a good question. Even I treat one patient with fibroid with pregnancy. Like she was the patient of infertility due to fibroid, then she conceived. So in this kind of the patient, what you have to take care, that you have to advise the Garbhini Paricharya, that first Masanuk Garbhini Paricharya.
Yes, ma'am.
Even you can give the combination of the Bala Churna, Bala, Shatavari, little bit of Shatavari. There is no harm to give Shatavari with fibroid. And you should give some symptomatic treatment. Like in this type of the cases, what kind of the complaint you, what kind of the problems you will face, like patient have abdominal cramps. Okay.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am. Initially, what according to Acharya's Brahmanalayana, first trimester, second is Pitta Jal, next Vatahara, like that. According to trimester, we have to advise the treatment for the Garbhini. But initially, according to this Garbhini Paricharya, Navanita, Grita, and those things are Brahmana. And again, it will make enlargement of the fibroid also. That's the problem, because so in some conditions balamura kshira paka we used to advise the patient. But the thing is, in Shatavari also, Shita and Brahmana, it will provocate the fibroid to grow enlarged in conditions. That's the thing. The growth should not occur, means progress of the growth, it should be restricted. Along with that, the fetal anomaly should not occur like that. I was thinking about that.
What I am suggesting to you that you can
Hmm.
give the Shatavari. There is no problem to give the Shatavari. Even I tried the patient, I give the Shatavari to the patient. There is
Okay.
no that much of enlargement of the fibroid,
Okay, ma'am.
and there is no any problem. But
Okay.
if you feel like patient has abdominal cramps, so you,
Okay, ma'am.
according to the treatment, according to the complaint, then you
Okay.
add that medicine. Means
Okay.
here you have to take, or you have to concern on the
Oh.
pregnancy. You have to give more concern to the pregnancy. Just
Oh.
forget about this fibroid,
Okay, ma'am.
because
Okay.
it
Mm.
will shrink.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm bothering you again. I had asked question earlier. There was some voice problem. I was hearing that is Shatpushpa oil you were telling for Nasse.
Yes.
And ma'am, throughout the periods and throughout the month,
No. I gave the Nashya, Satpushpa Tel Nasya, after completion of the medicine, after completion of the menses for 6 days. And this should follow for 3 cycles. Like, continue, this regimen must be followed for 3 cycles. Every month,
after completion of menses for
for
6
6
days
days. Yes.
and for
Shatpushpa
3 cycles.
or
How
3.
many drops?
6 drops in each nostril.
Okay, and is there any regimen that it should be empty stomach or like that or anything time, anytime
Any,
suits?
most probably during the morning period, morning time.
And before going to bed also, twice a day or once a day is good enough?
Once a day is good enough.
Good enough.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, you said Arogyavardhani. I had been following Arogyavardhani, Kachnar, Dashmul, Punarnava, Quat, ki कफ की वृद्धि ना हो, लेकिन still didn't get any good response.
Even you can add.
Somewhere it helps, somewhere it doesn't.
Yes. Even you can add.
We are trying to focus on the lifestyle problems also. We do counseling also. I mean, we try to have ahar, we are everything in that format, not only tablet. And we have to do that according to Ayurveda prospect. But still there had been limitations.
Yes, that's, you are right, very right. That's why I clearly mentioned that 3 things must be followed. That is, lifestyle modification must be there, along with the Shodhan and Shaman Chikitsa. But if it is not possible for you for the Shodhan Chikitsa, then you can give a Shaman Chikitsa. In Shaman Chikitsa, you can add this Til, oral administration of Til in a Shaman Matra.
Ma'am, can you explain how could we?
Because in most of the PCOS cases, we find that the irregular menstruation or the amenorrhea. So to treat that condition, you can give this Tela. It has a Ushnavirya and Anulomak property. So it helps to maintain the normal menstruation. And even in this kind of the patient, you can advise Krishna Tila Gud Kwat. That is the Krishna Tila Gud, and even ajwain. That is, you can add the ajwain in this preparation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll move on to the next question. What time will be proper for Uttara Basti in reference to the menses, ma'am?
Yes, for Uttar Basti, after completion of the menses, you can start the Uttar Basti and it is for 6 days, continue 6 days.
Thank you, ma'am. On which day of menses medicine to be given for thin endometriosis?
For thin endometriosis. For thin endometrium, again after completion of the menses, you can start that medicine and it should be should give throughout the month, like without any break. Just you have to stop that medicine during the period of menses.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. The next question. What can be done in case of peritubal adhesions wherein tubal patency is there, ma'am?
Okay, there is tubal patency is there, but there is a peritubal adhesions. So I already told that in cases of adhesions or even in a uterine synetia where the adhesions in intrauterine, the prognosis is poor. But you can try with Virechan Karma, Lekhan Basti, and Shamsothagna medicine like Punarnava, Dashmul, and Chandra Prabhavati.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. How can we treat repeated abortion cases?
For repeated abortion cases, here you have to think of, you have to emphasis more emphasis on the vata dosha because it comes under the putragni yoni vyapad, and in putragni yoni vyapad vata involvement of vata is there. So you first you have to give the basti, simple matra basti of tila tel or narayan tel, and after the basti you should start this pregnancy related medicine. But in this kind of the cases, basti treatment is must. And then
Yeah,
again, it is you have to find the cause of recurrent pregnancy loss, like it is the case of torch. So in torch cases, I prescribe the Virechan karma and followed by this basti.
yeah, thank you, ma'am. The next question. Managing any complications during Uttara Basti and special rasayanas for increasing fertility.
So complications during Uttar Basti. So again, first we have to take that much of precautions. So that there is no there are no any chances of Uttar Basti complications during Uttar Basti is must. But if you feel any complications during Uttar Basti, then you have to uh, uh, give some modern medicine also. There is no any I have no any idea about some Ayurvedic management of the complications of Uttar Basti. I found a minor complication. If it is a minor complications like abdominal pain, then you can give a Shankvati. Yes, Shankvati, you can give Shankvati and hot water bag fermentation. But if a patient has some major complications, then you should give some allopathic medicine or you have to consult the, you have to contact some allopathic doctor.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question. In ovulation treatment, Mashanasya, from which day a drug, ma'am?
For the ovulation, again you have to
Uh,
start the for the
yeah,
process.
from which day we have to start the Mashanasium and the drug used, ma'am?
Again, after the completion of menses for 6 days, and the drug of choice is Satapushpa Tel, 6 drops in each nostril.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. How to treat infertility in case of ovarian cyst?
Okay. In case of ovarian cyst, if the size of cyst is too big, like it is greater than 6 centimeter, so you have to advise cystectomy, ovarian, that is to removal of this cyst. But if it is less than 6 or 5 centimeter, then you can give a Punarnava Kwatha, Dash, Varunadi Kwatha, Chandra Prabhavati, and Tripla.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question. What can we do in the treatment of ovarian cyst?
Yeah, that is ovarian cyst. I already discussed.
Thank you, ma'am. Rajaswalacharya is different both theoretically and practically. Please explain the practical aspects of the same.
Yes. So practically, you can advise the patient not to do some exertion, like some exercise activity that you have to advise. Second, maintain the brahmacharya. Third one, durva saini, but it is not possible nowadays. So that is not possible in a present era. Fourth one is you can advise the yava means yava kushra or even things, dietary things which is made from the yava, because the yava is indicated during the rajasvalacharya. And some factors like not that much of walking or anything in excess amount that should be avoided during the rajasvala period. But I advise the patient to take a yava, because yava has a calcium property and it has some effect on this process of ovulation and formation of the ovum. Yes, formation of the ovum, follicular genesis.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The treatment for oligomenorrhea if PCOD is not there.
If PCOS is not there and it is a case of oligomenorrhea, then you can give a Hingvastak churna, Dashmulakwath, Rajaha Pravartani Vati, Kanya Lohadi Vati for the this oligomenorrhea.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, how to treat endometriotic polyp in uterus in case of infertility?
Polyp, endometriotic polyp.
Yes, ma'am.
I already presented in the presentation that you should advise the patient to go for the polypectomy.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. How to manage acanthosis nigricans?
Yes, it is very difficult to manage acanthosis nigrosis because it indicates the excess androgen excess. But in this condition, you can give a Shatavari churna, and one brand name that I use, that is the Evcare Fort. So I found good result with this Evcare Fort. It is a drug of the Himalaya drug company.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Next question. How to manage severe pain and vomitings during menses?
Severe pain and vomiting during menses. So to manage this condition, uh, though it may be associated with dysmenorrhea, because it is the symptom of primary dysmenorrhea. So in this condition, you should give these drugs, anulomak drugs, matanulomak drugs during the menstruation or even before the menses. Like in this kind of the patient, I advise to take mrudu viration before 1 week of the menstruation, the date of menstruation. And during the menstruation, you can give a Haritagi, Shankhavati, and Raja Pravartani Vati, because it is due to Vimargaman of the Vata. So ultimately, you should advise the medicine which has a Vatanulomak property.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Tilataila, its dose and duration.
Tila in a Shramana Matra, that is 10 ml twice a day, empty stomach. For it should continue till 1 month, or if patient did not get relief with this amount, you can give it in a second month, like it is for 2 months.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Next question. Ma'am, you told Shatavari Grita is thin endometrium for how many days and how many cycles?
Shatavari Grita, 2 teaspoonful 3 times a day with milk. Continue throughout the month. Just you have to stop the medicine during the period of menstruation for 3 months.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Which is more better, Shatapushpa or Shatavari?
For which purpose?
That has not been mentioned, ma'am.
Because Shatavari is Sitaviri and Shatpushpa that I use for the uh, follicular development. And after the ovulation, I prescribe the Shatavari for the implantation.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. When to give medicine and how many days for rupture of follicle and for growth of follicle also?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Ma'am, when to give medicine for and for how many days for the rupture of follicle and for the growth of follicle also?
Yes. For growth of the follicle, you have to start the medicine after completion of the menstruation till the 10th or 12th day, right? But you should observe the growth of the follicle with the help of ovulation study. If you find that the development of follicle is okay, means there is no problem in development of the follicle, then you can stop this medicine on day 10th or 12th. And for the ovulation purpose, when we find the optimum size of the follicle, that is 22 into 20 mm, then you can give this medicine for the ovulation or for rupture of the follicle. And that is a Chitrakadivati or Lasunadivati for 3 days, 3 or 2 days. When you found that there is an ovulation, with the help of ovulation study, then you have to stop that medicine.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we have a delegate who has raised his hand. Dr. Utkarsh Arya, you may now unmute yourself. Doctor?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, doctor, you're audible.
Yes.
Very good evening, ma'am. My question is, what are the possible complications during Uttarvasti?
Possible complications during Uttarvasti. So the minor complications like abdominal pain, even sometimes due to biting of the cervix, there may be chance of bleeding after the cervical bleeding after the Uttarvasti. Or if in a major complication, it may be anaphylactical shock, because you are insert some medicine inside the body, so it may create the anaphylactical shock. It is in a major complication.
Oh. Sorry, ma'am. Due to disturbance of network, I can't listen properly. Moderate complications.
The moderate
Please
complications
repeat it
of,
again.
yes, moderate complications of Uttarvasti are, first one is abdominal cramps. Patient feels some abdominal cramps or abdominal discomfort for 3 or 4 hours, and for that purpose you can give Sankhavati or local heat fermentation with the help of hot water bag. And the second complication is due to cervical biting, like you have to catch the cervix with the Alice tissue forceps or
Yeah.
there might be some bleeding, or there is some amount of bleeding you can find. These are the minor complication of the Uttarvasti.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, doctor. Ma'am, our next
Thank you,
question.
ma'am.
PCOD with ovarian cyst and weight loss line of management.
PCOS with ovarian cyst and weight loss line of management. So again, for the weight loss, you advise the patient to do the Panchkarma. It has a good effect in process of weight loss. And in a Basti treatment, you can give Gomutra Basti. And after the Panchkarma, you should advise the treatment medicaments like Arogya Vardini Vati, Varunadi Kvat, Trifla Guglu, Gomutra Haritaki, and some dietary regimen that you have to advise for the purpose of weight loss.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. The next question. Any anesthesia needed in doing Agni Karma by Vranashoshaka Shalaka in cases of cervical erosion?
No need of any anesthesia.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. How to treat clogging in fimbriae of ampulla and intramural fibroids.
Sorry.
How to treat clogging of fimbriae of the ampulla and intramural fibroid.
For the clogging of the fimbriae or the part of ampulla, you can give the Uttar and for the intramural fibroid, Kashnar Guglu, Varunadi Quath, Gomutra Basti, like it is a Lekhan Basti, and Gomutra Haritak. That means you should give the Lekhan treatment for this intramural fibroid.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Now we have a delegate who has raised his hand. Dr. Ashu Sharma, you may now unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, doctor, you're audible, doctor.
Namaskar, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is this that if there is warp and a cuff in the PCOS, then in some articles there is given that Virechin is the treatment. Then Virechin is the treatment that the PCOS is the metabolic disorder. Then in मतलब कि either Virechin in woman which मतलब कि इनमें से कौन सा बेटर होगा और किस कंडीशन में बेटर होगा वो?
In most of the cases, in most of the PCOS cases that I have an experience, I found good result with the Maman Karma other than Virechin. So you have to advise the patient Karma and directly go with after the Maman Karma, keep patient in the Basti Karma.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Our next question, treatment for hirsutism, ma'am.
And for hirsutism, and it is due to excess amount of androgen, and for that you can give a Shatavari, and again I told that like in acanthus nigrosis, excess amount of androgen, you can give Ivcarfort. Ivcarfort, it is a drug from the Himalaya Drug Company, and that I found good result with this Ivcarfort and Shatavari June. Cases of hirsutism.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Can you suggest the treatment for Bartholin cyst?
Bartholian cyst. Okay. Again, it is a cyst, Granthi. So you have to give the treatment like a Granthi, Varunadi Path, Kashnar Guglu, Tifla Guglu, and for the local application, you can advise the Dashanga Lepa over the cyst.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Line of management for low AMH level.
I already mentioned in the presentation, for the low AMH level, the Panchkarma is must. Whole Panchkarma, like Vaman, Virechan, Basti, and Masti. After the Panchkarma, patient is advised to take 1 month Brahmacharya and Patya Palana. By the next month, you can start the Shatavari with orally and Prajasthapani Yoga. That is the Anubhuta Yoga of well-known Vaidya of Gujarat. Prajasthapan Yoga. It contains the Amalki, Bala, Atibala, Vatankur Swaras, and the Shatavari.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. We have a delegate here who has raised her hand. Dr. Netra Aruni, you may now unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
It was a very grateful information. My question is, I had one patient with a hypoplastic uterus. So I'm conveying her to get the hormonal assay test on the 3rd day, but she's not willing. So the last 2 cycles also we missed it. So whether shall I can done on the 4th day or the previous 2nd day? Is it okay? okay, or still the hormonal variations will occur?
Yes, still it may vary on the second or fourth day. So it is ideal to advise her to go this hormonal investigation on day third.
Pardon, ma'am, I can't hear your voice.
Okay, sorry. Yes, it is must to do the investigation on day third, because it may vary on second or fourth day.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing. I have already treated one febrile block patient, so I get a good result. Now it was a clear. The next thing is, so she's a infertility since the 4 years. So what can the next steps you will advise for me?
Okay, and yeah, is there any other factors which affects the conception, or just she has?
No, the male partner which is having oligospermia and actinospermia, and the female partner she is having febrile block. Now after the Uttarabasti, the febrile blocks, they both are got cleared, ma'am.
Clear. And the male factor, that is solved? Is it solved?
Yeah, it was normal oligospermia.
So you can advise her to take the medicaments for the proper ovulation. Before the ovulation, I divided the treatment protocol into two phases. First is follicular phase and second one is luteal phase. For the follicular phase, you can give a Shatapushpa churna along with Trikatu churna 2 times a day with honey. Second, you can give a Rajapravartani Vati, and third one Kanyakumari Vati for the better follicle development. And after the ovulation, you can give Shatavari churna, Pravala Pisti, Bala churna for the implantation, and even you can add this Phalagrut or Shatavari Grut for the implantation. So you can advise this for 3 months. Continue for.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And one more thing, as I've seen in my PG of Prasuti, so we had a patient with a fibroid uterus. So the one last girl, she asked that why Brahmana Chikitsa is still advised in fibroid uterus with pregnancy. My just hint answer is like that. So there is some degenerations in the fibroids will be there. So for that, there is also needed of Brahmana like Shatavari, Bala. So there is a less chance of the inflammations will be there. So it was my guessing answer, whether I don't know whether I'm correct or wrong. So can you suggest me that whether by this theory only that whether we can give the Brahmana Chikitsa?
Yes, that is the reason.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As we are running out of our schedule, we shall cut short our question and answer session. Thank you very much, ma'am, for answering all the questions with so much patience. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Dr. Surabhi E.R., Assistant Professor, Department of Rachna Sharira, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
A warm good evening to all of you. It's a privilege and great joy for me to extend a vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I would like to express gratitude and sincere thanks to Dr. Nilofer ma'am for giving an excellent coverage to the much wider aspects of female infertility. We all have been fortunate enough to have one of the most eminent personalities from Ayurveda with us here. Thank you, ma'am. Your passion, knowledge, and depth of interpretation comes through very well in your teaching session, evidently, and seems to be a part of what makes you an effective speaker. Your depth of understanding in this area helped all of us by giving a closer look into this area. My wholehearted thanks to you, ma'am, for going above and beyond. May the wisdom and well health goes long. Thank you so much. In behalf of Ayurveda College Coimbatore family and Diksha e-learning, I extend my thanks to all guests and participants here. Thank you all for being with us here this evening. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And thank you from my side. I would like to thank Diksha e-learning and Ayurveda College Coimbatore for providing me such a platform that I can share my experience with all the participants. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have now come to the end of the session. The sun sets in the evening today with a promise that it will rise again tomorrow. Here's a hoping that the day comes will be a better tomorrow. See you all in the next session on the 9th of December on the topic An Inseparable Tale of Rena by Dr. Shukran Sharma, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Shalya Tantra, Jammu Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Jammu and Kashmir. To know more about our updates, please do stay connected with our social platform. And that's all for today's most interesting session with a lot of new information for us to close our eyes with thought provoking knowledge. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you.